Hello and good morning. It is Coach Kyra. Thank you so much for spending some time on this video. Today we are talking about part two of your fat loss journey. What is it going to take to make it to the end of this 14-step process? We started with step one. Today is step two, which is discussing more about your food quality. Let me get my screen shared with you as usual, and let's talk about where we've been. All right. Stop failing at fat loss introduction. There are a number of steps to ensure you not only hit your goal, but you maintain the results of your goal. How many? Raise your hand. If you are somebody who has lost 10 pounds or lost 15 pounds, you're like, ooh, girl, look at me. I'm in Jamaica. I'm feeling good. I'm on a little water rat thing, right? Until you get back from Jamaica and you step on the scale and you're like, oh my gosh, I gained all 15, maybe even a couple of more pounds back. Okay. The objective of fat loss is to do it so that you never have to do it again. And these 14 steps ensure that you get to a place where you never have to think about this fat loss thing again. That's my goal for you. Okay. So yesterday, for the last video, we talked about nutritional awareness. What is nutritional awareness? Why is it important? Why is it the first thing that we talk about? And how is it the foundation of how we build up these 14 steps? Okay. If you have not watched this video on nutritional awareness, I need you to go back to video number one, watch nutritional awareness, then come back here and we'll talk about how we integrate these two principles together. Today, we're talking about food quality. Okay. We talked about being aware of your nutrition choices, specifically aware of how food makes you feel or how you feel when you have food, aware of the types of food choices you're making, aware of opportunities to be more regular in your food choices. We talked about that. But now, as we talk about choices, we want for those choices to be high quality. So then what do we think when we say quality food? When I say quality food, you might be like, oh yeah, I need to eat vegetables. I need to eat fruit and I need to have protein. And you are right on track. Okay. Real food are things that you can find in nature. Okay. Things that if you needed to pluck it from a tree, if you needed to plow it from the ground, if you needed to pull it from the vine, if you needed to go fishing for it, if you needed to hunt for it. These are our food sources that have been naturally provided to us here on planet Earth. These are what we want to be spending the majority of our time. Okay, ultimately, 80% of the time eating day in, day out. Okay, the value of real food is that when you have these things that were naturally provided by the earth, they have not been manipulated to taste better, to be sweeter, right? To crunch harder and ultimately become addictive, right? That's value number one. Real food is less addicting. Real food serves a purpose, which is to make you full, not to keep you hooked. Okay. And when we start to draw this line of distinction, when it comes to real food versus fake food, we understand that fake food has been manipulated in such a way that it was made for you to buy it again, right? Versus made for it to sustain you. Okay. The second thing about real food is now that we're talking about trying to improve our habits, trying to lose weight, we want real food because real food helps you lose weight, right? Real food is lower in ultimate calories, okay? Real food is cheaper in calories than this calorie dense, manufactured, made, man made food, okay? Real food, less addicting, and therefore serves its purpose here on earth. And then two, real food also has lower calories, keeps you full for longer, and a diet that is focused on real food is one that is making it easier for you to lose weight. Okay. So let's talk about what real food actually is. Real food, memorize this. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch. And as I start to think about where these things are on the grocery store, these are the things that I might find on the outside of the store. This isn't in aisles. These are things that don't even have food labels in most cases, right? They don't have a little bar thing that I can scan in my Fitness Pal. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch. These are real things that were plucked, plowed, hunted for, gathered, fill in the blank. Okay. We add to this grains and dairy. Okay. If you are someone who gives yourself permission to enjoy dairy and enjoy grain, by all means, have that. Okay. These are still sources of food that we can find in nature. All right. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch, grains, dairy. Plus, Kyra, are there any limits to the types of fruit I can have? Nope. What about mangoes? So, what about pineapples? So, right. These are things that I just want you to enjoy because I'd rather you have mangoes and pineapples than a Starbucks drink filled with fake sugar. I would rather you have fruit than Oreos. Okay. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch, grains, dairy. This is what I want you to consume. For vegans and vegetarians who don't do meat. So, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruit, starch, grains. Okay. Real food is the ultimate objective here. So, then how do we shop for food? Like I mentioned, when you go to the store, we want to spend 80% of what we're putting into our cart from the outside aisles. That is your meat and vegetables, your nuts and seeds, your fruit and your starches. You're thinking, okay, well, meat and vegetables, that's like back in the back of my grocery store. I can get, a lean cut of beef. I can get some chicken. I can get some seafood. Nuts and seeds are probably back in the back as well, right? I might get some cashews. I might get some peanuts. All right. Fruits. I definitely want to spend a lot of time in the front with the produce, fruits and vegetables. I'm getting all types of spinach and kale and all of the seasonal fruits and whatever I like, right? Even rice and grains and beans. These are all things that we find majority of the time on the outside of the store. Okay, so fill your cart with that stuff, with the real stuff. Okay, 80% of your cart is the real stuff. 20% of your cart is the fun stuff. Think your Oreos, think your ice creams, think your chips, think crackers, think drinks, right? 20% of the time is what we want to shop for. So then if you have a cart, you can imagine 80% is the big section of the cart and 20% is the top where the children tend to sit. That's how you want to build your cart. 80% of your cart is the stuff that fills your body and nourishes your body. 20% is the stuff that's fun. So then how do I create meals around the quality of my food? Okay. We start to think about how to create a meal based on food quality. First things first is your protein source. Your protein source is the most important piece, and we'll talk about protein here in a couple of slides. Your protein source is the most important piece to this overall picture. Okay. We want your protein to be the centerpiece, the staple of what you're consuming. Okay. Protein is the centerpiece. Then you want vegetables, right? You want your vegetables to be second centerpiece, right? You want a nice, healthy volume, maybe a third of your plate is filled with vegetables, right? Maybe your starches as well are another third, right? We start to think, I need protein, I need vegetables, I'm gonna have starches when I sit down to eat my food, or if you're having breakfast, same idea. I might have protein, I might have fruit, I might have nuts for breakfast, maybe you eat a little bit differently, okay? But ultimately, you want your meal strategy to be centered around real food, real protein, vegetables, starches, okay? That's how we wanna spend the majority of our time thinking about food. This is relatively easy as we think about food quality, relatively easy as we tie food quality to nutritional awareness. And in this big picture, right, we think about how all these things come together to make our fat loss more effective. Come back for video number 3. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I will see you again real soon. Take care.